Okay, hi. I know it's not Friday, but in my defense, I was not feeling very well last night. So I kind of went to bed early and didn't do much. So let's just go ahead and answer some questions. Anna asked, what are 3 things you think everyone should do before they die? It was actually a really hard question. I liked your guys' answers, but when I kept coming up with answers, it sounded more like I was trying to, I don't know, give advice to someone than it was actually to tell them these are things you should do, definitely, without a doubt. And then I thought, well, it should be things that I would do or I want to do as well, because how dare I tell someone else to do something if I'm not going to do it? So, my first one was see one of the wonders of the world. I think everybody should see something that is awe-inspiring, and that's what the wonders of the world are. They are there to inspire you and to create that feeling of awe. And I myself would love to go see at least one of them, and preferably one of the natural ones. I just think they are beautiful and they were created by nature. So, yay, wonderful. The second one I came up with is try to do at least one impossible or one hard thing in your lifetime. And by impossible or hard, I don't necessarily mean like literally impossible. If you want to grow wings or something, that obviously you can't do that. But something that someone tells you, yeah, you can't do that. That's just, you're never going to get around to it, or you'll never figure out how. Don't listen to them and try to do it anyway. I think even if you fail, the trying is the important part. Whether it's I want to travel the world, or it's something as simple as I want to wear a size 4 wedding dress. I don't care. If you think it's hard or if it sounds impossible, try to do it anyway. Because really, what's the harm in trying? And I struggled really hard for a third question, or a third answer rather. And I came up with buy a spork. Actually, I came up with buy a fork, but Kathy suggested why not a spork, so yes, buy a spork. Halfway between a spoon and a fork. It's even better than both, so buy a spork. Tuesday, which is now Kathy, asked 2 questions, because one is definitely never good enough for Kathy. She asked, who have you met who's famous, and what autographs do you have? So, actual meet famous. I've met quite a few Star Wars people, because they do Star Wars weekends at Epcot, and I went for several years and got to meet some of the stars from the movie. So I've met Ray Park several times, Jeremy Bulloch, who played the original Boba Fett, Warwick Davis, whom we all love. I've also met Jay Lagaya, I think is how you pronounce his name. He was one of the Queen's captains, and he's been in several things, but yeah, I met him. I also, though, outside of that, I've gotten to meet Stephen King. He came into the bookstore where I was working when he was staying on Siesta Key, and he's really nice. His wife, however, is not. And she does not like you, I guess, stalking her husband, because everybody in the store was like, oh my god, Stephen King is here. And we're like walking around the aisles like, look, there he is. Oh, look, he's picking up magazines. He's picking up, da-da-da. So, yeah, she wasn't very nice when I checked them out at the register, but he was very nice, and it was really cool to meet him. I also got to meet Jerry Springer, and he was not nice. I was getting on a plane, and he was there in the section right before where you board, and it wasn't a big plane, so it didn't have first class, but he wanted to be seated first, so he demanded to be seated first, which he also was seated in the very first row, which everyone else has to walk by to get to their seats. And he looked so upset when he finally realized that, yes, you got to be seated first in the first row, and now everybody gets to look at you as they walk by to their seat. Yay! So, and he totally left his luggage unattended. I just so wanted to report him for that. I didn't, though. I was just a snotty teenager back then. Okay, Cody's question, which was asked first on Thursday by Megan incorrectly, and then reiterated on Cody's, which was either late Thursday or early Friday. I don't know exactly when he put it up. But which would you choose? Power, glory, love, or wisdom? And really, the only thing worth anything is love. Not necessarily the romantic kind. And I had to stop there because my dad wanted to come in and be a butthead, I guess. But anyhow, yeah, I choose love over power, glory, or wisdom. Just because it's of those choices, it's the better one to have. Because you can live without power, you can live without glory, and there are plenty of people in Washington who live without wisdom. So if you can't have any of those, why not have love? It's definitely the better choice. Megan asked on Thursday, what are your pet peeves? And I really only want to tell you two, because otherwise if I sat there and thought about it long enough, I'm sure I could find more, but two is good. So the first one is listening to people clip their nails and toenails. I find it repulsive. I don't mind feet and I don't mind hands, I don't mind nails, but listening to the sound of clippers clipping them off for some reason really grosses me out. If I'm going to do it, I also do it in my room alone so that people don't have to hear mine. And the other thing that really drives me bonkers is people who talk with their mouth full. My father does that a lot, and I actually have to correct him because watching someone talk with half-chewed food in their mouth is disgusting. Okay, got interrupted again. But anyhow. So yes, people talking with their mouths full. On to my question, which is not a big or important one. It's just something simple. I'm sure you, like me, may have had a couple or more, we moved a lot, best friends growing up. And who's the one that you remember the best from, I would say, elementary school? Okay, let's keep it there, between kindergarten and 5th grade. I had several because we moved almost every year between kindergarten and 5th grade. But the one I remember who was actually a really good friend to me as well as being a friend, her name was Kai. C-A-Y-E, but pronounced Kai. She was actually of some kind of Polynesian descent. She could do a one-handed cartwheel, and that was really impressive to me. The reason she could do a one-handed cartwheel was because she broke her arm when she was younger and still wanted to be able to cartwheel. So she learned how to do it with one hand, and I always thought that was super cool. Plus, her dad drove the trolley around downtown Sarasota. So when I hung out with her, and we could go to work with him and ride around the trolley, and we didn't have to pay anything. We could get off the trolley and walk around, do something, and then get back on the trolley. And yeah, it was really kind of cool and fun for a couple 5th graders. But so Kai, she was a good friend, and unfortunately she moved away. Otherwise we probably would have stayed friends in middle school, because yeah, I really liked her. And sometimes I wonder what she's up to, because she was a really interesting person. Okay, so that's all for me for this week, and love you guys, and I will definitely try to record on Friday, but if I don't, I'll record you guys a snippet from the Kelly Clarkson concert I'm going to on Saturday and put that up. Alright, love you guys. Bye.